The first aid show is not just about humans. There's another really important member of your family. This would be your pet. It may be you've got a dog, a cat, a gerbil, doesn't matter what the animal is. The first aid within these animals is just as important as the rest of your family. Now, when you're dealing with your pets, then they can't talk to you, so you need to find out what's wrong with them. Let's just compare dealing with your dog and with a human. So if you're dealing with a human, you can say to them, what's wrong? You can't really say that to a dog. They can't communicate with you, but they can give you some valuable signs. And these can be they're crying, they're licking, they're holding their paw up, the change of character, they're moving away. And these are similar things within the human side. A human will look at, they may get grumpy, they may get angry, they may cry, they may scratch or whatever to show that there's a problem. So you can still look at the signs that the dog is giving to you. It can't directly tell you. Now, when you're looking at a small animal, it can be a lot more difficult. But again, you need to look. You need to know what normal is. We talk on first aid courses within humans. What is normal? A normal heart rhythm, a normal looks. Well, look at your dog, my dog, she's got a nice cold, wet nose, you know she's healthy. If she's got a very dry, hot nose, that could be a problem. Look at their respiration and things like this. So we can still use the basic skills that we learn within adult, human, child, or whatever, first aid, and we can apply that across to the animals. When we're then looking at a physical injury, if you fell over and you break your arm, you're going to hold your arm, you're going to support it, it's going to have swelling on it, and you're going to have all sorts of other pain. You might cry, you might get upset. Now the dog is going to be very similar, depending on the breed and how it is. Some dogs will just lift their leg up and carry on running around on 3 legs, but you'll know it's obvious that there's a problem. You may see physical injury. Things like swelling. Swelling is very, very easy. And on your pets, it's actually sometimes easier because as the limb does start swelling, you'll see the hair will start to part. So you'll see a lot more skin on their leg. So within first aid, if someone fell over, you can say to them, right, you sit down, and I'm going to get you help, I'm going to put a splint on it, I'm going to get you to the emergency services. With a dog or any animal, let's just look at dogs for now, the dog you're going to have to try and calm down. You don't want it sitting down, because when it sits down it might put weight on the legs. You need to try and lay it down. It may then start getting distressed and upset, so you need to calm it. You don't want to give it treats. The same way as we're not going to give a human treats, I mean food, because they may have to have surgery, the same we don't want to do it with the dog. Because when that dog then goes out to the vets to have the treatment done, the first thing they're likely to do is knock it out, because they can't treat it while it's still conscious. So we don't want food in the stomach. So treatment's very, very similar. So lay them down, calm them down. Now the key difference between, if you fell over and broke your arm badly and you can't easily get them to hospital, you can call the emergency services and they'll come and get you. With your pets, vets will still come to your house, but often you need to transport them yourself. So if you do transport any animal to a vet, make sure you keep yourself safe. So now let's look at other injuries. A cut. A cut to a human, we're applying direct pressure. A cut to a dog's leg, we apply direct pressure. Exactly the same. The dressings. A normal first aid dressing that we're going to apply onto a human, we can take the same dressing, apply it onto a dog. We may need to cut the dressing down so it's a little bit smaller. It may be the bandage is very long, but we apply it the same. We don't want to apply a human dressing on so tight that it cuts off circulation. Same with the dog. If we put it on too tight, it cuts circulation and cause all sorts of problems. Bleeding techniques, exactly the same way. Other types of injuries, things like head injuries, are going to be harder to detect with the dog. But generally speaking, if a dog's whacked its head, it's not such a common thing, but it would be an event of something like a car accident. And car accidents are the same. The first thing a dog will instinctively do is get up and try and run away. Well, if you're badly injured, you need to stop that. But the same way, humans do the same. I've seen lots of car accidents where the first thing people want to do is get out their car and start shouting, and then they suddenly realise they've been quite badly hurt. So the adrenaline that happens within an animal within a human side or within a pet side can be the same. We look now at illness. Now illness is the same. If I've got a stomach ache or I've been poisoned, something, I can say that I feel ill, I feel vomiting. Well, animals will be the same in the sense that you can look in their eyes. Their eyes glazed over. What's their nose like? Perhaps put your fingers into their mouth and feel their cheeks, or look at their tongue. These are sorts of things can indicate problems. It may well be this dog is ill for whatever reason, or swallowed something, it's got something stuck in its stomach, or it's got an illness. Then Just look at the signs and symptoms. Still use your same human first aid skills, but just to apply them to your pet. So whether we're dealing with injuries or illnesses, pretty much the same. As far as getting help, you can phone your doctor with human stuff. I don't suggest you phone your local GP surgery up and say to them, well, look, my dog's not feeling very well, can you help? But you can phone your vet up. If you phone the vet up, they will help you. If you've got pet insurance, these people will often have a medical helpline where you can phone up and speak to a veterinary nurse or directly to a vet, and they'll give you the advice you need and tell you some things that can possibly save your dog's life. With human first aid, we look at how to deal with the accident. Well, same with the pet. Start planning things. Where is your vet? Where's the number? Make sure you've got all the information by the phone so you know who to call, how to get there. Have a pet first aid kits. You can see these on our websites. We've got them for sale on there. And you know, they're just a basic kit for the pet. You know, I know you can use your human one as well, but sometimes it's easier just to have the pet first aid kit there. Illnesses, look at prevention, the same. Make sure your dog's been wormed regularly, it's got his flea treatments and things like that on there. Regular vet checkups, the same way as you would go down and have your cholesterol checked and your other things, you know, to make sure you're nice and healthy. We do that the same with the dog. So as to summarise, when we're looking at human first aid to when we're looking at pet first aid, the basic principles are the same. Don't be afraid of using your human first aid skills on the dog or on your cat. It's pretty much the same. The most important thing, if you're unsure, you need to get the dog to a vet, the same way as you would get human to the hospital. If you want to know more information on a pet first aid, we've got the Pet First Aid blog, we've got our Pet First Aid training course, online course. That'll give you loads and loads of skills and give you some little ideas that you can use when you're treating things, because sometimes it's not all straightforward, you know, within dogs compared with within humans. So never be afraid of looking at the whole picture, never be afraid of helping your pet. We need to remember your pets are part of the family as well. And you know, when things go wrong, you know, they're just as bad sometimes as dealing with something within the family members.